Perfect point to start our look at what's happening and what's on the front page of our local dailies here. And I have the Star on the front page of the local daily. I have the Star here. On the front page, Mudavadi, Ruto gang up against Raila Uhuru. Mudavadi, Ruto gang up against Uhuru and Raila. Move Jols Oka as principals, Kalonzo and Gideon storm out of ANC meeting. That happened yesterday, and the DP also announced joint rallies starting with Nakuru on Wednesday. That was on the front page of the Star newspaper. Very quickly to the second page, Raila woos Nakuru voters, promises cheap fertilizer, says that his administration will scale up subsidies for farmers. He was speaking yesterday during his Azimio campaigns in Nakuru, and Raila also said that he had a discussion with President Kenyatta on soaring fertilizer prices, saying that the head of state promised to act fast. That is what Raila said and promised his people in Nakuru. Ruto says that I won't stop giving cash to churches. He said that that is a command from God. He was speaking yesterday in Ilmasin in Kajiado County yesterday when he took his campaigns there. And Kiberaman jail for 20 years for girls barbaric defiling. It said that the gentleman identified as Henry Atuongo Opati defiled the girl repeatedly for 2 days after locking her in his house. That happened between 25th of May 2016 and between 23rd of May 2016 and 25th of May of the same year. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison, and he has, of course, 14 days to appeal to that ruling. Mudavadi and DP Ruto team up to tame Raila, and now Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka and his KANU counterpart Gideon Moi dramatically stormed out of the ANC National Delegates Conference at Bomas of Kenya. We will be talking about later on, and they exited after last-minute intelligence that Ruto, their #1 adversary, would be a key guest. We saw that, and it's been trending all over the socials. Later on, we'll be discussing that. And finally, Kalonzo and Gideon now announced divorce from ANC's Mudavadi. We saw this coming. One Kenya Alliance principals accused their partner of throwing them under the bus. Another something that we are going to talk about later on in the hour. Raila and Ruto now battle for pastoralist community vote. That is, Deputy President seeks to rejig bases that voted for Uhuru in 2017 as ODM leader keen on regaining lost votes. Leaders confident that their parties would clinch region's support. More as we continue with the program. But again, we will be discussing this in the Eye on the Politics later on. Steph.
Okay, thank you for that, Victor. So with me here is the Daily Nation. On the front page, we have the story on the earthquake. Clearly, it will be all over in every paper. So Ruto Mudavadi deal, Raila blow. So after promising to unleash an earthquake, ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi yesterday threw in his lot with Deputy President William Ruto, setting the stage for a titanic battle with Uhuru Raila Azimio la Umoja. And we have this story covered on page 4, 5, 6, and 7. So this makes up pretty much a huge chunk of this paper today. Also, on the front page, we have a special report, and that is the crisis in Marsabit as residents go hungry. This is on page 10, and we are given a photo there of a man outside his house, just to paint a picture of how dire the situation is. I can't really show it, how dire the situation is. Livestock deaths are in hundreds of thousands and rising every minute. This is after 2 years of no rains. Starvation is now a reality for hundreds of thousands living in this region. And we do hope that maybe the government or the political aspirants can do something about this. There's something that the government is doing. We have something on the front page, state to pay fees for 20,000 children. And this is more than 2,000 needy secondary students will have their fees paid from the 400 million released by the government under the presidential bursary program. And the cash was released to schools at the weekend after successful applicants sent their request through their respective constituency offices that administer the scheme. Another story making the front page is that Kenya is in deal to stay on circuit till 2026. Sports Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohammed and WRC promoter GmbH Managing Director Jonah CABL signed the contract and extension. So this is good news for Kenya on Safari Rally. Also, something on East Africa is that Uganda and Rwanda are warming ties now. Muhonzi Kainerugaba, the son of Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni, met with the Rwandan President Paul Kagame in Kigali. And during the meetup, the president said that they had cordial, productive and conversation and are looking forward to working together to restore the relationship between Rwanda and Uganda. These are some of the stories making the front page. Much more in a few to you, Doreen.
All right, so let's start with some bit of health matters, and this is just again a recent report that shows booster shots effective against Omicron. This is specifically the booster shots of Pfizer, saying that this actually is one of the proven highly effective at preventing Omicron-related hospitalization. And again, also the same findings show that according to the WHO, Omicron has rapidly surged past over other variants to become one of the most dominant amongst all other variants. Away from that, the Teacher Service Commission will this week hold stakeholders meeting in the various counties, and this is part of what they're going to discuss during this particular meetings is recruitment, promotion, and teachers transfer, amongst other issues which are expected to take center stage. Remember that also that has been one of the key concerns when it comes to teachers, especially when it comes to promotions and recruitment of most of these teachers. Again, obviously, the Musalia Newfound Alliance caused a storm. This particular story has been well highlighted from page 4 all through 8 of this particular daily, just showing what went down yesterday at the Bomas of Kenya. And part of also what is, maybe I can just actually read a bite from this particular article, saying that there's no room for Raila talks, and Wetangula confirmed that they had moved on, saying that they will work together, henceforth closing the door for any possibility of them working with the former premier again. That also continues there. This also came out during his speech yesterday. So again, continuing with that particular article, and basically what happened yesterday is that the question still remains, what next for Kalonzo Musyoka as well as Gideon Moi, seeing that they already feel betrayed by what happened yesterday. And also part of what he mentioned yesterday, that is the ANC party leader, is that economy is going to form the top of his agenda, just saying that he actually hinted out at President Uhuru Kenyatta's administration over the increasing public debt. And he says, the former finance minister says that Kenya is at risk of being auctioned by international lenders. And this is why he says that if elected, part of his top agenda will be to revive the economy. And the question still remains, how will he revive the economy? And again, that continues also by Wiper legislators saying that Musalia Mudavadi betrayed the Oka principles. And just as Victor said, there is that, why didn't they see it coming? Or this looked like a possible, perhaps, what was set to happen. This is just one of the sentiments being echoed by Mavoko MP, that is Patrick Makau, and he dismissed Mudavadi matched-hyped earthquake as merely climbing the wheelbarrow. Makau said that the ANC leader was not a team player and cannot be trusted, just by what happened yesterday. Like I mentioned, this particular article actually continues all the way happened yesterday. And again, also as we prepare for as candidates, that is the KCP and KCSE candidates, prepare for the exams, which is set to happen between March and April 1st. As it stands, is that exams is set to be shipped into the country. That is by early February, of course, that is by early next month. And also part of what the ministry is saying is that these exams are going to have a human face, and that candidates should not fear or just fear, because it's going to be easy for them to tackle, and as you mentioned, there's going to have a human face. And also, lastly, trucks pile up at Busia border to end. That is what the Transport Cabinet Secretary James Macharia is saying. Remember that this has been happening since late last year because of the COVID certificates and COVID-19 testing, but now he says that is set to end as they come to a path between Kenya and Uganda. And we obviously expect that because to happen because of the kind of perhaps the kind of strain it has been causing, especially to most of these traders, as well as the perishable kind of goods that have been happening, that have been going bad because of that pile up in Busia border. Ray.
Now, we want to do it differently for the Standard here, given that, the front page is basically reading the same thing from the People Daily to the Star to the Daily Nation, all about the question, what next? Is there is there an alliance in the offing when it comes to ANC and UDA, and what does this mean for OCA? That is what you have on the front page of the Standard. But now looking at the back page, let me just give you a quick summary. On the world news, we've already talked about what is happening on the matches that you expect at 7 and 10 p.m. tonight. And as far as the AFCON is concerned, Comoros there will be playing, as well as Gambia. Away from matters sports, we focus on the world. There has been a quick focus on what is happening between Russia and the British government as where Ukraine is concerned. Now, Britain says that Russia is seeking to replace the Ukraine government, where Britain's foreign office names several Ukrainian politicians. It says has links with Russian intelligence services. Also crossing over to Italy, Berlusconi drops bid to be elected as Italy's president. He has bowed out of the presidential election that is set for this week, claiming that he had the votes to win, but the country could ill afford political divisions during the pandemic. And also just within Africa, the government in Burkina Faso has denied an army takeover, according to the defense minister. Says that, actually has denied rumors that President Rochmark Kabore has been detained. Now, police fired tear gas to disperse around 300 people who had gathered in downtown Ouagadougou there. That is what you have across the world. But now talking about business, and very close to our hearts, because, we're in the 21st century, and LPG gas is one of the things that we use to, power our households, their cooking and such. Now, there's been a sharp rise in the cost of cooking gas, LPG or gas. Now, this particular sharp increase has been attributed to recent imposition of value-added tax and the rising global price of petroleum products. LPG lacks price regulation, even as the industry regulator advises the Petroleum Ministry and Treasury to consider doing away with VAT on LPG. So currently the pricing ranges between 3,000 bob. November 2020 it was 2,000. When we got to November 2021, it was 2,600. Now we are looking at 3,000 per 13 kg cylinder. Talking about matters of politics within the counties now, Siaya Governor Colonel Rasanga has pulled out of the parliamentary race and has endorsed Senator James Orengo, to take over from him as governor. And talking about that particular race come August 9th, we have a few governors who, for one reason or another, matters of impeachment especially, did not serve the second term. We're talking about Mike Sonko, as well as Ferdinand Waitito and Mohamed Abdi Hamoud. Now, there are plans to have a comeback when it comes to those three. So you can get further details. All these are available on the various dailies, as well as our website, that is www.kbc.co.ke. Now, before I let you go, I'd want to read a view that has been posted here on the opinion in this particular daily, and this is from Mr. Andrew Kemboy, who is a partnership and special projects manager editor at this particular daily. Says that the presidency is not worth dying for. Better get an MCA to die for. Let me take that again. Presidency is not worth dying for. Better get an MCA to die for. Raising questions about how far we have come when it comes to the devolution and the impact it has had on the ground. That's just a recap, or rather just looking at what we have on our various dailies this morning that ushers the next conversation, Eye on Politics with Victor Olo. Do keep it right here.